How to be a good worker. A working attitude. When a new task is given, each person reacts differently. There are various types of people, such as those who are worried first, those who are motivated, and those who are bothered. What do these types have to do with being recognized as a good worker? It's because people are watching your behavior. Emotional expressions at work only make you lose trust. If you're in charge of the task, it's better to take it calmly and move on to the next step. Even if it turns out to be a hard job later, people around you will be able to help you first or ask you to adjust your work. However, if you show a negative attitude even before you start, it can lead to a bad perception as mentioned earlier and be a big loss in the long run. A man who is good at work doesn't waver. As you continue to do one task, your knowledge builds up, and how efficiently and accurately you build it determines whether you are a good worker. For example, when there are B and C who took over the same task, B performed only by the standards they learned, and C felt the limitations of the existing system and tried to improve the process on their own. How would the two look different in 5 years? C will experience a lot of trial and error, and then be able to confidently present solutions to problems, but B will not. For the same reason, a new employee may be passionate, but it's hard to be recognized as a good worker because he didn't have enough time to accumulate logic. So don't be too impatient and try to be like C, and you'll naturally be recognized. A good worker has a good sense. There are many kinds of senses, and the ability to judge situations or understand the other person's intentions is the main sense in the company. Judgment on work is something that can be solved naturally if you have a good logic, but judgment on situations or people requires additional effort. In situations such as seeking cooperation from others, coordinating work roles, or making important decisions, being sensible means the ability to understand the other person's intentions well, and turn simulations around in your head to answer them. This sense is also related to personality. So it's a natural area, but it's something that can be improved with effort. If you have a good sense, you can predict what the other person will say before you speak, so you can answer quickly. I think there are people who think that lack of sense is not a big deal. However, if managers allocate tasks with wrong judgment, things can happen that cannot be used after the results come out. Do you understand why managers get paid a lot? A man who is good at work are simple. People who are good at work have something in common, that they are simple. Simple means clear and concrete. A common phenomenon for people who lack an understanding of work is that they say a lot of unnecessary things and do unnecessary things. The person's natural personality may also have an effect, but it is likely to be a habitual behavior. Inefficient use of time in the company is an act that harms the people you work with. So I hope you fix it if you act like this. Even when making decisions, a good worker tries to figure out how to get to the goal in the shortest time, and tries to get rid of the problems. If you finish one task quickly, you can handle other tasks, so you can do better than others. People who are good at work always adjust their priorities. Prioritization, considering the amount and deadline of work, is very important for busy work. However, people who focus on only one task can have a hard time when they do multiple tasks at the same time. But having a lot of work means being recognized, and if you do well, you'll get a bigger recognition. So rather than complaining, it's better to think about how to proceed with each task in consideration of schedule and completeness. However, if you have to deal with many tasks at the same time, you can warn your superiors in advance that the completion of subordinated tasks may be poor. The situation changes in real time, so if you don't change the priorities you set at the beginning, you'll find yourself doing unnecessary work. Conclusion. There's nothing good about being recognized as a good worker right now. Rather, I'm always tired because I do more work than others. But being a manager carries a big responsibility, so if you don't do a good job, it will be difficult to play the role of a manager. Even if you try from then on, it's hard to change because your habit is already in place. So try to change it one by one from now on. Then bye.